Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Brimlow, and today we're going to start working on operations with scientific notation. There is a copy of the notes linked in Canvas, so you can print those out and take them as you go, or you can just watch the video and get a copy when you return, but please make sure you see me. Okay. So we're still in topic 1. It's our last lesson. Lesson 10, operations with scientific notation. So we'll be able to apply number properties to calculations with numbers in scientific notation, and we're going to know how to do these operations. For this year, we're going to focus on multiplying and dividing in scientific notation. Today's lesson, we're going to focus on this first example here, multiplying, and then tomorrow or the next day, whenever I see you again, we're going to work on dividing. Okay. The Confederation Bridge connects New Brunswick to Prince Edward Island. The main part of the bridge rests on piers that form 43 segments. What is the approximate length of the main part of the bridge? Express your answer in scientific notation. So this is one segment, and there are 43 in total. So a quick way to do that is to multiply. So we have one segment length already written scientific notation. However, the second one isn't, so we need to write it in scientific notation. Technically, this is where the decimal is, so we need to move it between 4 and 3 times 10. Now I'd have to move it one time to the right to go back to the original number, so this is just 10 to the first. Okay. So now that they're both in scientific notation, we can go ahead and multiply. So how we do this is using, we have to go back to our exponent rules, and we're also going to use the commutative property. The commutative property, because everything's being multiplied, tells me that I can move things around. So what I want to do is multiply my coefficients, which you can see here, and then I want to multiply my base 10s, okay? So I'm just going to grab a calculator. So I'm going to start with the 8.2 times 4.3. That gives me 35.26. Okay. Now, for my tens, we're going to use the product of power property. So that tells us when we're multiplying with a like base, we keep that base and add the exponent. So basically, I'm going to add 2 plus 1. So this gives me 35.26. We're not doing anything with that yet, times 10 to the third power. Now, especially when you're working with multiplying and dividing, it's really important to make sure your number is in true scientific notation. Two things make it true scientific notation. Your first factor is between 1 and 10. Your second factor is a base 10, okay? So we start with our first factor. It must be less than 10 and greater than or equal to 1. Well, this is 35, so that's way too big. So I need to rewrite this. So in order to rewrite it, I need to have it between the decimal moved between the 3 and the 5. So it would be 3.526 times 10. We still have that base 10. Whenever you move a decimal point, it changes your base 10. It's going to change that power. Okay. Going back to the original problem, moving it 3 times to the right is what would happen because it's a positive 3. So this would want me to go 1, 2, 3 times. Okay. By moving it back a space, we're going in the opposite direction. So we're adding an extra step to this in order for us to get to the same place as this problem. So it's going to become 10 to the fourth power. Okay. That can be a little tricky to wrap your brain around. So if you're looking at this like, I'm still not sure how we got this last part, that's okay. But make sure you ask questions for when you get to the practice. Okay. So the final answer would be 3.526 times 10 to the fourth feet. Okay. Go ahead and pause and try this next one and then come back and see if your answer is correct. All right, so we're going to multiply 4.8 times 10 to the 8th and 2 times 10 to the negative third and see if we get the same answer. So let's go through the process. 4.8 times 10 to the 8th and then 2 times 10 to the negative third. So I like to rewrite this so I have my first factor and second factor parts together. So we're going to multiply 4.8 times 2, and then 10 to the 8th times 10 to the negative third. So 4.8 times 2 is 9.6 times 10. Now 8 plus negative 3, that's what we have to do. So I'm going to shift this over. We have more positives than negatives, and I have 5 more positives, therefore it's positive 5. Okay. So this would, and I checked to see if it's true scientific notation. That first factor is between 1 and 10, and I have a base 10 as my power at the end, as my second factor. So that would be the answer. And they want to know if it matches what the friend said, 9.6 times 10 to the negative 5. So their answer is not correct because they have negative 5, but we got positive 5. So they didn't use their integer rules correctly when they were using the product of powers rule. So is this answer correct? No, they didn't add 8 and negative 3 correctly. Okay. All right, so check out Canvas to see what your practice options are. Make sure you get a copy of the notes when you return if you didn't take them with the video. And as always, if you have questions, please reach out and I will chat with you soon.